Welcome to the Eastern Sib podcast at the Historian's Eye. Please subscribe, and if you'd like to be notified when new episodes are released, click the bell icon. Yu the Great was a legendary ruler in ancient China, famed for his introduction of flood control, inaugurating dynastic rule in China by founding the Xia dynasty, and for his upright moral character. The dates proposed for Yu's reign predate the oldest known written record of China, the oracle bones of the late Shang dynasty, by nearly a millennium. No inscriptions or artifacts from the proposed era of Yu, nor the later oracle bones, make any mention of Yu. He does not appear in the inscriptions until vessels dating to the Western Shao period, about 1045 to 771 BC. The lack of anything remotely close to contemporary documentary evidence has led to some controversy over the historicity of Yu. Proponents of the historicity of Yu theorize that stories about his life and reign were transmitted orally in various areas of China until they were recorded by the Zhou dynasty, while opponents believe the figure existed in legend in a different form, as a god or mythical animal in the Xia dynasty, and morphed into a human figure by the start of the Zhou dynasty. Many of the stories about Yu were collected by Sima Quan's famous Records of the Grand Historian. Yu and other sage kings of ancient China were lauded for their virtues and morals by Confucius and other Chinese teachers. Yu was one of the few Chinese rulers posthumously honored with the epithet the Great. According to several ancient Chinese records, Yu was the 8th grandson of the Yellow Emperor. Yu was said to have been born at Mount Wei in modern-day Buchong County, Sichuan Province. When Yu was a child, his father Gun moved the people east toward the Central Plain. King Yao enfeoffed Gun, the Lord of Chong. Yu is believed to have grown up on the slopes of Mount Song, along the south of the Yellow River. He later married a woman from Mount Tzu, who is generally referred to as Tushan Shi. They had a son named Kui, a name literally meaning revelation. During the reign of King Yao, the Chinese heartland was frequently plagued by floods that prevented further economic and social development. Yu's father Gun was tasked with devising a system to control the flooding. He spent more than 9 years building a series of dikes and dams along the riverbanks, but all were ineffective. Despite the great number and size of these dikes and the use of special expanding soil, as an adult, Yu continued his father's work and made a careful study of the river system in an attempt to learn why his father's efforts had failed. Yu successfully devised a system of flood controls that were crucial in establishing the prosperity of the Chinese heartland. Instead of directly damming the river's flow, Yu made a system of irrigation canals that relieved floodwater into fields, as well as spending great effort dredging the riverbeds. Yu is said to have eaten and slept with the common workers, and spent most of his time personally assisting the work of dredging the silty beds of the rivers for the 13 years the project took to complete. The dredging and irrigation were successful, and allowed ancient Chinese culture to flourish along the Yellow River, Wei River, and other waterways of the Chinese heartland. The project earned Yu renown throughout Chinese history, and is referred to in Chinese history as the Great Yu Controls of the Water. In particular, Mount Longmen along the Yellow River had a very narrow channel, which blocked water flowing freely east toward the ocean. Yu is said to have brought a large number of workers and opened up the channel, which has been ever since known as Yu's Gateway. King Shun, who reigned after Yao, was so impressed with Yu's engineering work and diligence that he passed the throne to Yu instead of to his own son. Yu is said to have initially declined the throne, but was so popular with other local lords and chiefs that he agreed to become the new emperor at the age of 53. He established a capital at Enyi, and the ruins of which are in modern-day Shao County in southern Shaanxi Province, and founded what would be called the Xia dynasty, traditionally considered China's first dynasty. Yu's flood control work is said to have made him intimately familiar with all regions of what was then the Han Chinese territory. According to the Bamboo Annals, Yu ruled the Xia dynasty for 45 years. It is said that he died on Mount Quanji, south of present-day Shaozhong, while on a hunting tour to the eastern frontier of his empire, and is buried there. The Yu Mausoleum, known today, was first built in the 6th century CE in his honor. It is located 4 kilometers
southeast of Jiaxing City. Most of the structure was built in later periods. The three main parts of the mausoleum are the Yao Tomb, Temple, and Memorial. In many statues, he is seen carrying an ancient hoe. A number of emperors in imperial times traveled here to perform ceremonies in his honor. Yu was long regarded as an ideal ruler and kind of philosopher king by the ancient Chinese. Owing to his involvement in Chinese mythical Great Flood, Yu also came to be regarded as a water deity in Taoism and the Chinese folk religions. He is the head of the 5 kings of the water immortals, honored in shrines and Mazu temples as protectors of ships in transit.